We sat down with some of the top players in the country to get them to spill their secrets about how they became the #1 champions of their province and are now headed to nationals. This is Losing to Grow, brought to you by Lila and Maide. We'd like you guys to, one by one, introduce yourselves briefly, your position on the team.
I'm Cole Bekkering, and I think I started playing basketball I was around 6 years old. I play probably small forward, power forward-ish.
My name is Flores. I play the center role on the Semiemu Thunderbirds. I've been playing ball since I was about 6 as well. Not with Cole, but same age. But I have been playing with Torian since that age.
I'm Torian Lee, and I'm #1 on the team. I play point guard. My number's actually #1. Yeah, that's so, yeah, I've been playing basketball since kindergarten. Me and Mark has been playing since first, second grade. My dad started a club and we play together.
Yeah.
One of the things we've been really curious about is, as high school students, we have a pretty terrible sleep schedule. And so we were wondering, what happens if you sleep too late or if something goes wrong? What's your morning routine? How do you start your day off?
What's your night routine to prepare for the games or for practices?
I think for me, I usually, depending on the day, if I practice late at night, then I usually sleep in. But if not, I'll try to come to the gym here in the mornings, as our coaches open it some days. For game prep, usually I try to get off my phone an hour before the game and really get focused into the atmosphere of the game, and I feel that helps me really lock in and play my best.
So for me during the season, I was late to school every single day without fail. Because we'd practice, especially in grade 11, we'd practice 7 o'clock. We'd practice 7 to 9 usually. It was a write-off the next morning. But I still stay on top of my studies a lot of the time. You do homework, but before, because if we had practice at 5 or 7, then you got to use that time before practice. That's the time when you got to actually get your work done. And it was hard, but by the end of the season, I feel we kind of acclimatized to that better. Game days are crazy because you're just the whole day just focused on the game. It's hard to focus on anything else. And then, yeah, I'm with Cole there. Hour before the game, phone's usually on silent mode, just playing music on my headphones, just trying to focus.
Same for me as for them. During the week for school, it's definitely difficult to stay on top of work. We have a lot of commitments, working out on top of practice and the practice hours. So it's 4 hours a day outside of school that's dedicated to our training. So I'd always get behind a little bit, and I use the weekends to catch up. And then for myself, a routine I do is I stay off my phone as much as possible the whole day, and I just try to imagine the game through my head. So before I get on the court, I already know what I'm gonna do, so I put myself in that position mentally and just just be creative.
Visualization is huge for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys are training in school and outside of school, and then you also have games in school and outside of school.
Yeah.
So you're basically booked every single day.
During the school season, it's just school season. We just focus on that. Our club takes a break because our main goal is just win the provincials. That's only place our heads at, the whole team, especially this season. So I see grade 11, grade 10 for these guys. We were underdogs and nobody actually expected us to be provincial contenders. But our head, since the beginning, was to go win provincials, and that's been our only goal.
Yeah, it's important to focus on one single goal instead of many, because then, it will be hard to focus on one thing and kind of...
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you manage school, friends, and sports at the same time? How do you keep your discipline? How are you kind of on track of everything? Maybe you're not, maybe you are.
Socially, I'm lucky. My best friends play ball. So socially, it's never a problem because I feel I hang out with my friends at practice, at games. Especially this year with the car, driving to games, man. Those are the memories, for sure. But then academically, it's hard. It's really hard. It's using that class time. I mean, I'm sure these guys, they're a bit more academic than I am.
That's true. Love it.
Me personally, I try to get as much work done before practice, or I try to go to bed at 11 or 10:30.
Yeah, same.
So you can get that 8 hours or 7 hours. I try my best, but some days if you have a test the next day, it's rough. You're not gonna wake up in the morning and stuff.
It's definitely not easy. It's because you got so many things to manage at the same time. So of course you're gonna get behind in certain areas, but like he said, we're all together, we're all doing the same thing. We have fun together. We're all friends. We're a family on the team.
And I think it's that common goal that we all share that brings us closer, for sure.
Yeah. I think all of us wanting to be the best basketball players we can pushes us harder every day. In school, even everything's really a competition. Our marks are a competition. Playing basketball is a competition.
We're all competitive guys, 100%.
Yeah. So we hold each other accountable as well as ourselves.
So do you think being competitive is kind of a good thing or a bad thing?
Absolutely. Being competitive, I feel it makes everybody better. I think it was your dad that really instilled that in me. Torian's dad, Brian Lee, him coaching me, he really pushed me to be competitive. And I've carried that through these past 5 years of semi-EMO. Because playing on an elite team like that, you rise. Everybody rises to the same level with competition.
And if you're like an athlete, like how are you not competitive? Like you just have to be in order to be an athlete, to be successful. Like
You gotta want it.
You need like a drive. So like, you know, that's what we want. We want it to be good. We want it to be successful.
You can't look at competition as a negative way. It's like always has to be something that you're trying to work towards and try to like be better. It's what you're trying to do with your friends, just trying to push yourself as hard as you can.
And sometimes it's friendly and sometimes it's not friendly. But I know with my boys, with my guys, it's friendly competition. That's the way it has to be.
So the thing you guys said about work, I really like that because I don't know if you guys watch other podcasts. I was watching the Diary of a CEO, and on it, one of the main things the guy says is that it's the people that you work with. These are the people that you spend the most amount of time with, especially as you go into your adult years. So you guys are already kind of exposed to that. But a lot of people end up learning, years later after they make a lot of mistakes in life. You guys kind of get to do that right now, where the people that you're working with are the people that you're spending the most time with. And so it kind of forces you to keep your relationships intact and hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. I feel like our routines are all pretty similar because of that as well, for sure.
We kind of want to see the public attitude, and also because in school, so how you deal with that kind of, and how it impacts your socialization. First of all, you have a limited amount of time that you can spend with people in school, right? But then also compared to last year when you guys almost won, but didn't get there, versus this year, how was that? How was the support different?
I felt a huge difference. Last year, people rooted for us in that provincial run. Coming in as underdogs, people were like, oh, this is so cool. Whereas this year, when we were the favorites, completely different vibe. I'm sure you guys agree with that. The whole energy was not the same. It was more like, we got to win this game, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
I think it affected other teams too. Like other teams would come to the games and like they would play crazy well just because like they're playing us.
Absolutely.
It's like games, like some people were having games like they shouldn't be having. Like,
Every team treated our game against us this season like it was the game. They all had it marked on their calendar. Exactly, like the provincial final.
Yeah, and we really had a target on our backs the entire season. But like also like we came into the season, at least for me, we should win. Like like last year, like I even felt like we should have won. So like this year's like, we have to do this. Yeah. So like everyone was like, what, if we can beat semi, like we can win.
And
so,
we couldn't have that.
Exactly.
Whereas last year, it was a surprise for everybody. Even our coach Lafergie last year, when he did a power rankings on the board one practice, he didn't put us in the top 10. And I'm not sure if he was doing that to mess with us, but he also, I don't think he believed that we were gonna make it to the provincial finals. I don't think we had any idea how far we could take ourselves. We didn't know that we could push ourselves like that. And after pushing ourselves like that, our confidence was much higher this season, for sure.
Yeah, last season, like there was times where we would lose 3 games in a row, and like
that was just rough. That was a rough week.
And then you would go on the weekend, and the coach would run you.
Oh
and
yeah,
it was tough, difficult.
Yeah.
What you guys kind of pointed out was your belief system was just all over there,
Yeah.
So you had a different coach this year.
Yes.
And then you guys also, obviously you yourself were expecting to make it there as well, right? After the first year.
Yes, expectations were high.
Yeah, obviously you're training hard all the time, but I guess the biggest difference was the mindset and the belief system.
Well, because you gotta think, I assume at least, like everybody's training, right? Everybody's in the gym, like all the best players, but at a certain point, there's something that's got to separate you guys, right? And it's that confidence, I think. Because if everybody's putting up 500 shots, whatever it is, it's like, how hard are you putting up those shots, right? How much do you trust yourself when you go from that practice to actually shooting those shots in game?
Yeah, and it's like even the extra stuff. Like, are you doing like workouts after basketball?
Yeah. That's something that changed all of our athletic lives, I think. We all started working with a strength and conditioning coach, physiotherapy, and we started doing our own private workouts. Not private, but like team workouts pretty much. Our whole starting 5 actually started doing that, and that made us all rise athletically and mentally, I think, our belief in our own body. We trusted our body more after that as well.
And the experience from last year too, like I don't think we could have gotten as good as we did if we didn't have to go through what we went through last year. Losing in the finals, that was like
heartbreak.
Yeah, that really got to us. And like knowing that feeling, we could just use that as fuel like the entire season.
All summer.
Summer too, like
waiting for the next season to start.
Yeah.
It was looming. It was like a dark cloud over my head, especially because we know we could have played better that game. I mean, of course there's regret and stuff, but like knowing that, it's always going to be not regret, but fuel. Because I feel like if we had won that game, we would not have rose as much as a team the same way that we did I think.
Yeah, and like being an athlete, there's like so much going on behind the scenes that like many people don't see. About the challenges that you faced, how do you prevent a burnout? How do you kind of manage to get yourself up there and kind of work your ass off and just keep going?
For me, like, I don't think, like, I can burn out because, like, I love basketball so much. And it's, like, my whole life. Like, I don't even see myself, like, burning out. It's just, like, it's like a dream that I have to play at the next level. I can never, ever play too much basketball, like, in a day or, like, in a week or in a month.
And I know, I mean, at least for me and Cole, Torian, he doesn't get injured. I know he doesn't, but me and Cole, we have been dealing with numerous injuries.
Yeah.
And those weeks or even months where you don't get to play, it's like when you're healthy, I can never not play 2 or 3 times a day. Like I'm just want to play because you kind of just cherish being on the court, especially with your guys. My body burns out before mentally. Mentally, I always want to be out there. And I feel lucky to be able to be healthy and to be able to play every day. Of course, there's some days, some practices in the middle of the season when you're on like your 6th practice of the week, no games in a while. And I know I got to go guard Cole and I got to foul the shit out of him, you know? It's like, you don't
say that.
You don't want to, like, I don't want to always practice. You don't want to run those lines. But you do it, and then you know it pays off. Sometimes you just got to think a little bit more long term. You got to think a bit more like, well, playing today is going to make me better tomorrow or a month from now or in that big game. And in the off season too, I found like this off season, going to Oprah gym every single morning, like you wake up at 6:15, you don't always want to get up, but you have to. That's the mindset I have. Like I have to.
Yeah. It's really just mental. Like, you know, when you're in the gym, like if you're there, you might as well just put your all in it. Otherwise you're wasting your time. Like it's just like mentally you just persevere through anything. Like the physical pain, you're tired, but like so what? Like you want to get better. You have goals that you have to reach, so you got to sacrifice something.
I feel like that also goes back to that competitive part.
Exactly.
Of like
if
I know that T was in the gym last night, then I got to be there in the morning when he's not there because we want to both be better. That's how it works.
And like we all have a collective goal. Like and our goal is to win provincials. So in order to do that, you got to do these things. You got to go through hard things. You know.
Absolutely.
That's amazing that like you all have different kind of perspectives towards it, and but the same goal, right? About the rest days, how do your rest days look like? I mean, I'm sure you are not a robot. You do have rest days, hopefully. Yeah. So hopefully. What do you do to kind of take care of yourself?
Rest days, usually it's just like a chill day. Like maybe we'll just go hang out with like our friends. Like all of us will probably maybe hang out, do some. To be honest, I don't really have any other friends outside of my basketball friends. So it's like I'm still gonna be with these guys anyway. You know.
A lot of the time with our strength and conditioning program, we'll have rest days where we have like 4 quadrants of working out: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and a Q4 is like a high day, and a Q1 is like just a lot of stretching and a lot of mobility work. Whenever we're having a light day, that's what we're doing. So we're still in the gym. Like a rest day for me is mobility work and a light shoot around. That's like a day off for me because I know that's a day where my body's not going to be getting pounded and being like worse. Instead, I'm actually helping my body as well as getting better at basketball still. I'm sure T's the same.
Yeah, we pretty much do like all the same things together. Like, especially in season, like there's not really a point where you just kind of do nothing. Like you have to do something, otherwise your body's gonna be worse for it. So it's kind of just like managing like your load. That's the best way to do it. I think like if you just take whole days off like that and they're not really targeted on anything, then like you lose out.
Because we'd have Saturdays off. We'd practice Sunday through Friday and have Saturdays off, and that Saturday would be a low mobility workout usually.
And then they would still even open the gym on the Saturday.
Exactly,
right?
and we'd be shooting just light, no scrimmaging, nothing like that. Just injury prevention really in the weight room, huge for us.
So just going back to the things you guys said, I feel like that mental connection that you guys have with the sport and the mindset and all of that we're kind of going for, that also has something to do with the fact that you guys are showing up every single day. Even if you're not like scrimmaging or if you're not playing a game, you're still like very much over there stretching and with everyone, right? You're still... I find that very interesting. So we can like apply that to other aspects. Like I don't really like coming to school, if I'm being honest, but you can still kind of stay in it by just staying in the loop with other people, right?
Yeah. Like what's your goal? What connects all of us together and like drives us is our goal. So like for you, I guess if you can look at school that way, like why do you come to school? Like what keeps you coming to school like every day?
Good question.
Well, now we're interviewing you. Next question.
Well, I mean, like, if you're saying, like, you want to get good grades, right? You surround yourself with other people that want to get those good grades. And, you meet at the library or you FaceTime and study. and you show up to class together. It applies to all facets of life. And that community in any facet of life will raise you up for sure. I'm 100% sure about that.
It's just like who you surround yourself with, like
Exactly.
what do you want to be?
Exactly.
So mindset and then surrounding yourself. The same thing that we hear all the time, the top 5 people that you spend time with.
Yeah, and it's all great how like you guys like stay together no matter what, and you know, kind of keep pushing each other throughout the ways, and like, you know, hey dude, you know, don't do that, or you know.
Yeah, I find like if I'm going to the rec center or to whatever basketball court, I'll just text Cole because he lives on the way pretty much. I'll just text him, yo, I'm going at this time, bro. You free? And if he's free, automatically, now he's playing too. Ed LaFergie, this is a classic LaFergie line. Good players get in the gym. Great players get other players in the gym as well. And that is something he told me when I was 13 years old that I've 100% carried with me throughout. Yeah. There's so many quotable LaFergie lines, though. What a guy.
So many.
Yeah, he moved to Kelowna. Yeah, it was bittersweet, but it's good for him. He seems happy.
He's living life.
Oh, what is one thing that you learned about yourself when you kind of start playing basketball? Yeah, it's a deep one.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time.
One thing.
Because I feel like my life has like progressed with basketball. Like since we were in kindergarten, grade 1. It's almost like my life has like been like growing, and I've been maturing with my game. At the same time, like we would go to Seattle, right, and we would lose by like 30, 40.
We lost by 70 to like one of the better teams.
Yeah, when we were like what, 8?
Yeah.
And then you keep going and you keep going, and then eventually we actually beat some of those teams. Like I remember at least you two. I wasn't playing on the team at the time, but these two, the team that we lost to by 70, Rotary. You guys beat them last summer. And that's just like perseverance. Perseverance, exactly. And at least 3 or 4 of those guys are the same guys that were on that same roster when we were 8 years old. So many people would have probably given up after that game. But that perseverance I've learned that I always have in me.
I think I've learned like with basketball is like I feel like time management is like something like I've learned. If I come back from the gym, I can't just lay on my bed. Like I know I'm tired, but you can't just lay on your bed for like an hour. Just chill.
Sometimes the floor, man. Sometimes you gotta lay on the floor for a little while. It happens.
Yeah, but eventually the homework's gonna come back for you still. So yeah.
I'd say for me, like passion. It like taught me something to love and just put like my everything into like. Basketball taught me like how to compete, like how to persevere through toughness, like how to be strong mentally, like how to talk, how to be communicative, like
100%.
Like almost like a lot of my like values today I've learned through basketball, like the experience I've had with interacting with other kids, like going across the world and playing, like going to like 7 different states last summer and like driving like 12 hours in cars together with people. Like I'm 5'10" and I sit in the back seat of like 7-seaters with 7-foot people. In the planes, we spent 5 hours in planes.
You're lucky. You're a lucky guy.
Like even this couple weeks ago, a month ago, we woke up in Montreal at 3:00 in the morning, and then we had to take a flight from Montreal to Toronto from 5 to like 7. Exactly. And then from 8 to I don't even know however long.
And that's after we drove 6 hours from North Carolina to DC. It was like it's like stuff like that. Like that's never gonna happen in your life again.
Exactly.
You know?
And then you go play a game after that. Then you play a game that same day.
In between all of that too, like it was like 2:00 in the morning, and we went to IHOP to get some pancakes. So we were riding around Dallas.
It's those team meals. Those
Exactly.
team meals are the best.
So yeah, it's just like just taught me something to love and stay like consistent through. So
What you mentioned about communication is huge too.
Yeah.
Like the guys that communicate on the court the best, those are the best players, but they're also the best people.
Yeah.
Like no, there's a huge connection there.
So we want to know your thoughts on failure, because I think this is the biggest thing that you guys have brought, because you guys are like go, go, go in that mode, right? But while you've had a lot of really big highs, you've also had some pretty big lows, according to you. So
personal lows. I had some huge personal lows back in 2020. Physically, I got injured pretty bad, and it was like a year of not playing ball pretty much for me. Like during COVID, it matched up, but I physically wasn't able to until I met a physio, and we eventually fixed all that. But that low of not being able to play, what that mentally does to you, it makes you so much more grateful to lace up and play ball every single time. That's something that I don't think every athlete has, and it gives me a perspective that I think I'm lucky to have. I mean, of course, I'm not lucky to have not played ball for a year and missed out, but I feel like I'm lucky to have that perspective. And then that's first season back, that first game in grade 11 was my first game in a year and a half, and we won that game by what, 2 points?
Yeah.
Buzzer beater.
Game winner from him.
That was like an amazing memory of our first game as a team, as in that era of playing together at Semiemu. And that kind of carried us through an underdog season where we were down, if we go through provincials, first game against Oak Bay, we're down by 10 at half, right?
Yeah.
And then we go on a crazy defensive run. We get a bunch of steals. We win that game by 20.
Yeah.
Next game against Centennial, that same team that we beat by 1 in the first game of the season. They came out unreal. They have a 6'11" D1 kid.
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah.
He's playing at Oregon State right now.
He's playing nice.
He's playing well.
Yeah,
shout out Casey.
Casey.
Shout out. Torian drops 20 in the second half in that game to put the team on, and then we play Vancouver College. We've lost to twice in that season already.
Lost by 30
at their house, bro. That was a rough game. Cole, you dropped 37? Man, we were riding on just team energy and team chemistry at that point, and nobody had expected us to even beat Centennial in that game, that second round. We were underdogs in that game. They were the second seed, we were the 7th or 8th?
Yeah, 7th.
Yeah, 7th. So then we come to the finals, and I mean, we're just happy to be there. I mean, of course you want to win, but we're just proud of the team. And I remember Lafergie after the game
started crying.
He of course, but he was just proud of us. He wasn't mad, of course disappointed a little bit, but I just remember how proud he was of us. That was it.
Because you guys fought really hard this
Exactly. It was a memorable moment for sure.
What advice would you give for younger athletes that are starting off in their basketball life or an athletic life?
And also, not just athletes, but student athletes, as well as anybody who's trying to do their own thing. Like, basically, you guys, somebody who's, like, embarking on entrepreneurship, and they're surrounding themselves with people who are like-minded.
I'll start with a quick thing about the physical aspect for athletes. Get in the weight room. Either get on a program just on YouTube. There's so much information on YouTube. You have all these guys, PGF Performance, Knees Over Toes Guy, all these, like, YouTube accounts. They're teaching you about injury prevention. Injury prevention is number one, because how are you going to play if you're injured? You need to stay healthy, and you need to gain mass as well as a young person, especially males. You're at your peak amount of testosterone as a teenager. This is the time to train. That's the number one thing for athletes. But then yes, for all facets of life, athletes, entrepreneurs, students, again, I think surrounding yourself with the right people is huge.
And put in the work.
We got so lucky to be on this like team. It's something that not every. Hi, Mr. Chio. We got very lucky to all be together and have the same mindset.
What the hell?
Oh, Tony.
No distractions, you guys. Don't get distracted.
Oh, exactly. No distractions. That's something. But
I think as like a younger person, like always just like believe in yourself. Your belief in yourself is more important than anyone else believing in you, and like your goals can come true as long as you like believe in yourself, and you always can like trust yourself to like push yourself harder. And if like that all starts like if you believe in yourself, and like don't get discouraged with like ups and downs, like just
And even to build on that, believe in the work that you put in. Be consistent with it. Like if you want something, go get it. Like it's just a matter of you putting in the work to get there. Like you just gotta put the time in, and it will really happen.
100%, because when it goes down to the wire, you fall to the level of your training. And if you're training really hard and you're pushing yourself, then you're gonna rise. But if you're not actually ever training and you're trying moves that you haven't even done in practice, you're not gonna succeed the same way. You're not gonna trust yourself, and you have a much lower chance of succeeding. We're talking about basketball, but of course that goes for all facets of life. If you're not studying for the test, you're gonna fail. I know from experience, it's not gonna be very easy. You're gonna be circling C on every single question. It's not gonna end very well. But you have to definitely prepare yourself for any test of life.
And like be prepared to sacrifice things. Like
of course,
you're not gonna just be able to do everything. So you're gonna have to make difficult decisions when you wanna get to where you wanna be. So just be prepared to make the sacrifices and like work for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like the Nike slogan, just do it.
There you go.
Just do it.
Yeah, mic drop.
Yeah, I probably should go.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, thank you, Flores.
There's another question for you. In the future, when you start doing basketball more professionally, like as a job, would it kind of take out the joy that you're having right now, or like the passion when you will be like kind of earning money from it? And
No.
I think that means you made it.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to get there.
yeah, once you get there, like, I mean, you have to work double as hard just to stay there, you know?
Yeah.
So.
yeah, but most of the time, like, you know, when you do something that you love as a job, I mean, of course that's great, but wouldn't it feel like a chore that you have to?
Let me just get in some statistics because statistically, and they've done this in a lot of different areas of life, when you start being paid for something that you love, you start to not really, you still love it, but you know, the interest level kind of decreases.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure that you guys will still love basketball always, but how have you guys ever had to deal with something like that right now? And also, how do you plan on dealing with that later on? I mean, I guess you guys all already have to in a way, right? Because they have to show up at the 6 a.m. practices. Otherwise, Coach Lafergie will, or the other one.
Okay. I haven't actually heard that statistic before, but like, I don't know, I already put in like a lot of time, and this is like on top of school, so I feel like it'd be easier to compensate like my life if I had less school. I'd much rather play basketball 12 hours a day than be in school, like, no doubt. Like, even if I wasn't getting paid, like, I have that much love for the sport that like I wish I could be playing all the time and being paid for it professionally. Like, that's how you know, like, you kind of like you've made it somewhere at least for my goals. Like, I want to get to the point where I am paid, so that'd be like a really cool step for me.
Yeah, same. I hope it doesn't come to that, like, where I lose joy in it, because I feel like all that hard work that I've put in, like, it's kind of going to waste if, like, I lose joy. But, like, as of right now, like, I'm not playing pro, so I can't really say, like, if I'll lose joy or not. But, like, I hope not to.
Yeah, I can't. I'll always love basketball.
Yeah, love is, once you love something like this, like.
Even if you see me in a wheelchair, I'm still love basketball. I'm a still hoop. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's passion right there.
Damn, like, because this used to be a business podcast for context, so used to be, yeah. And then we realized that we wanted to expand it, and you guys have, like athletes, you guys bring so much more to the table about development, and you guys, like, have experienced this journey hands-on about growth and stuff. So I guess it is a little bit different for us athletes at the end of the day, because they, like, really, really love what they are doing. And, I mean, everybody does, but
I mean, I feel like athletes just like my brother plays soccer, and even though like he knows what he wants and he knows what he needs to do in order to achieve things, whereas me as an artist, it's kind of like a very confusing path, you know, kind of doubting myself. But as for athletes, I feel like they're more kind of close to
they're built different.
Yeah, they're built different.
I know, but like also being an artist is probably not straightforward, right? Like being an athlete, it's like you have a straightforward goal and like what you want to do.
Yeah, it's like you kind of like you'll see at certain points like how close you are to your goal, really. Cause like, you know, for us, like we play on like the highest competition like we can play. Like we play on the circuit. Yeah. It's just like a basketball league of like the best players in like
in the world,
like
maybe.
Yeah, North America. So like we know like if we can get to here, then we'll be this much closer to our goals. There's steps. Like we got goals of like, you know, playing the NBA and stuff, but like you don't just go from high school to the NBA. Yeah. You gotta do things to get there, and like there's a whole bunch of little things that are like little stepping stones to get into our true goal. So those things kind of keep us in check. Like those things motivate you, and like a lot can change in like a matter of a month, like a day or two. Like it's crazy.
One weekend could change your life. To
exactly.
Be honest. Like at like the level you play at. Like
just like you can go from having the best statistic season like ever to being injured in a wheelchair just like that, and then you may never play basketball again.
It could be minutes.
Or you could, you know, get that scholarship to the school that you've always dreamed of. Like it's a phone call away. Like you never know what's gonna happen. So like in the end, it kind of balances you out, and like, you know, we've gone through things like that in our lives so far. So like we kind of understand, and we're like how close we are in like to reaching our goals.
It's a lot to take in. Like.
Yeah. It also kind of invokes gratefulness in you, just having the opportunity to play and just, I don't know, having 2 arms, 2 legs, and just, it's amazing that you realize that, and, you know.
I'm trying to wrap my head around, like, why, because normally the commitment I see from athletes just always, like, goes above and beyond anybody else I see. Kids like going in school, you know, yes, they are motivated, but not nearly as much as athletes usually are. And so I'm just trying to figure out like what differentiates that. Is it starting early? Is it just the amount of times that you guys are working out? Are you working out a lot more than most kids? Because I know like the kids who, you know, if you go to school, then you come back, you do a few hours of homework, and then you hit the bed, but you guys kind of have to do both, and you've had to do both, so maybe that could be the differentiating factor?
I think it's like just like the love in the like sport. When you love something, it's like you always want to do it, and like you're always trying to like improve on it. And also like for me, like I like to know like I'm working harder than someone. And that's like I feel like that's good. Like yeah, like you were like good last year, but like now you're not as good as me anymore, or like I've caught up to you and stuff like that. That's why like for me,
like I believe in like what I say. So like I believe in the work I put in. When I go in the gym, like I don't just like show up for like an hour in the gym. Like yeah, I'm good. Like I'll go like 5:00 in the morning. Like I'm tired, but like I'm trying to get better. So like I believe in the work I put in. So I know I put in this amount of time in the game. I put in this many shots. Like I better hit the next shot I take. Like it better go in. I'm gonna put the ball in the basket. Like I don't care. And that just drives me. Like I put in this work. So like I want to see it like be fulfilled. And I just don't understand like how you can't be passionate about something like that. Like I love basketball. Like how do you not have something like that? Like I don't know what I would do without basketball. Yeah. I'd be completely lost. I'd just go home and then do what? Like nothing. Basketball, like I gotta have it in my life.
Yeah, that leads to another question. What would you do if it's not sports?
If it wasn't sports?
Yes. Oh. So if you weren't, if you're not allowed to be a basketball player or like any kind of athlete, what would you do in life? Like who would you be?
Okay. I'd say like music. I love music. Oh. And shoes, like and clothes. I'd say fashion, music. If I couldn't touch a basketball for the rest of my life, God forbid, I'd definitely be like heavily involved in those areas for sure.
I think, yeah, maybe like music, maybe like be like a producer or something like that. Yeah. Like something like make beats. Because like it's hard to think about something like that. But like, yeah, I think like music. I like clothes too, but like not as much as him. I'm just like, I don't really like. I just put on clothes in the morning.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You guys say you love basketball, but I'm just wondering, for people who don't play sports or for people who don't have as much time, obviously there are other benefits to playing sports for your health and wellness, and then just even if you're not a basketball player, you can still obviously engage in the sport, right? So I'm just wondering, like, why would somebody want to do that? Is it the discipline aspect? What makes sports something that everybody should do, if you believe that?
Sports is something everyone, like, since the competitive nature of sports, like I feel like everyone like wants to like watch sports and everyone wants to see sports, and people want to play sports because of the competitive aspect. Like you're always trying to compete to get better. You're always competing against others to like see who's better. So like yeah, I think that's like also why like sports is like so big.
But do you think everybody should play sports?
I mean, you can do what you want, but like no, I don't think everyone has to play sports. Yeah. At the end of it, like
exercise for sure, because like sports is like a form of exercise. Like physically, you'll be fitter. It's just better for your health. Mentally, it gives you like an outlet to like relay emotions. Like I know for myself, I love basketball, so I got practice later on today. I'm so happy because I get to I go through my pre-calc 12 class. I spend an hour and a half. I don't know anything that's going on.
I had to beg you to leave.
Yeah, like I'm barely understanding factoring, and we're doing some ridiculous things. So I'm looking forward to practice, and like yes, this is the place where I get to be free. It's like a canvas for me, like a blank canvas, and like I'm the pen, I'm the paintbrush, and I put everything out there. And that's just me every time I get on the court. Yeah. So that's probably like why sports is so meaningful to people, because it's more than just like a game. Like
just putting a ball in a hoop. No, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah. There's so much you put into it, like that people don't see, and everyone has their own personal connection to it. Yeah. And like for everyone, it's a little bit different, but like for the most part, people have like the same goals and getting to like playing at the highest place. So like you really see who's the best. Like it's like a challenge. Like you see, am I better than this person? Is my team better than this person? Like we believe we're better. No, we believe we're better. So then you guys compete.
To see who's better.
Exactly, and then the best wins.
See, that's why I was asking, because like, okay, PTSD from math, I have a lot of it. Like just every single day, and just years and years of it. Like you need something to let it out. So yeah, that's why I think everybody should play Blitz.
So it's time for Blitz now. So the rule.
They're gonna say basketball.
Okay, no, that's not. No basketball, okay? No, just forget that exists. I'm pretty sure you can't, but, just imagine. Okay, so the rules is just choose one or the other. But you cannot choose both, okay? So volleyball or rugby?
Volleyball.
Isn't volleyball, like, not a sport in your eyes?
No, I guess.
I played it from grade 7 last. I was on the team.
It's honestly just for, like, soft basketball players.
Really?
If you're bad at
no, just to like Alex, Evan, and Darius. Like I know you guys are whippers too, but like Nash, like
It's just, yeah.
Basketball, you know, it's better. So
Water or energy drinks?
Water.
yeah, water is better for you, but the energy drinks taste.
I don't even like Gatorade during games like that.
I love sugar. Like if Gatorade and water had the same health benefits, I'd definitely take Gatorade.
Well, yeah.
But they don't.
Sponsor us. Thank you. Morning or evening?
Evening.
Yeah, evening.
That's interesting because I usually think, but as an athlete, probably, I don't know, most of them
wants
are
to go to
early
morning
brain
practice?
birds.
No.
I don't know, discipline starts with, mornings, early mornings, no? Yeah. Pepsi or cola?
Coke. Sure. Coke.
There's no
I don't drink
difference.
caffeine.
What?
Pepsi's just fake Coke.
Yeah, Pepsi's not it.
Okay, now we can bring basketball in. 3-point shot or layup?
3-point shot.
Yeah, 3.
Threes are better than twos.
Statistically.
Layup, jump shot, or no, 3-point shot versus jump shot.
3-point.
Yeah, threes.
3-point.
Do you wish there was a 4-point line?
Low key, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
I'd like. That would change a lot.
I feel like no one would do layups anymore, though. It would be like you're shooting a 4-point or a 3-point.
I'm pulling that like 5 pounds.
Who's your favorite player?
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
For me, like, my favorite player is LeBron James. Me personally, he's just like since I was young, I've already watched him, and he's like in the ages like when I was like starting to get basketball, he was playing in Miami, and like that was his like best years. So, yeah.
I say probably my favorite players ever would be John Wall, but right now I'd say Ja Morant. Despite the allegations, he's still a tough hooper. Like off the court, don't worry about that. But on the court, he's tough. De'Aaron Fox and like Jalen Brunson, like right now, those are like I don't really look at like one player. Like I try to take as much as I can from like a couple players. So like those are like the ones that I really mess with right now. And
Jimmy Butler in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, Jimmy. I like Jimmy, but like I just look at how my game applies and like I just try to take from other players and learn.
Are they the people that you look up to as
Yeah.
well?
But I feel like I'm trying to be like Cole Bekkering. Like LeBron James is cool, but I'm just trying to be like I'm trying to be the best player I could be.
He's just taking everything they have. Like
Just combining.
Yeah, like I want to be my own person too, but like there's like I definitely idolize some people like cause like their values and like just people I look up to. So I respect them. Definitely respect all those people I named and definitely would like to be like them, but want to be my own self.
That's awesome. That's a really great message at the end. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
How did you enjoy this podcast?